Who you calling bums, pal?
You.
Randy!
Listen, we got two more of us in the back seat.
Pity the back seat.
If you're
Stop
looking
it.
for a fight,
I am looking for a fight.
come on, put the
Let's
knife
go.
down.
Come on, right now.
Come
right
on.
now.
And there it is. Cheers. Got it. Episode 11 of the Mission Statements podcast, Adulta Bravo Urban Exploration Team podcast, with my man, Kevin Bednarz. What's going on, brother?
First of all, you said the last name right, so we're off and running because everybody wrecks it.
Why?
I don't know. They think it's B-E-Z-D, like they always jump through it. I get it. Ruined.
No, I don't know. I might be like have like a knucklehead Brooklyn accent, but I know how to read.
It's good, man. Episode 11. You double down on 11. I'm pumped, and these are so good, man. Like I was thinking about it today. Like you have to do like hundreds of these episodes. Literally, you're gonna have hundreds.
As long as, listen, I had another podcast that I did for like 6 years, right? Over 300, it was like 350 something episodes every week, this and that. I wanted to kill it because I felt like it was getting stale, but I'll continue to do this as long as somebody that's Delta Bravo or Delta Bravo related of some way is willing to bullshit and can hold a halfway decent conversation. I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's so much to talk about. Like, and every episode's great. How I think everybody you talk to has like that thread of DNA of like discovery or pop culture or adventure or music, whatever it is. It's this weird lineage that we never knew we had. Right? Like I thought I was the only one that loved the Bad News Bears movie, and then Danny hits the spots or whatever, you know, like we talk about. So I was thinking about it today. Like there's so many people out there that are like-minded that we would have never met if it wasn't for this. So you got to keep it going.
100%, dude. There's so many people. Yeah. Listen, I became friends with Danny doing a podcast, doing my old podcast, you know, and then, you know, I've said this ad nauseum. It's like in 92 when House of Pain was popping, if you would have said that in 2016, I'd be sitting backstage at a venue in Philly talking with Danny Boy, nothing at all about hip hop, but about the Curtis brothers and Tulsa, I would have thought you were fucking insane.
Yep.
Because I always had that same, that interest of, I wonder where that was filmed, but I had no idea where to put that or how to make that tangible. It was just it was just an interest of mine as a little kid watching the first Friday the 13th movie.
Like we said too, we met when we did the All-Star Comic-Con. We had the comic shop that I threw on a couple of years ago. That's when you reached out, and I remember standing there. I had the sax man, Timmy Capello from the Lost Boys, gyrating with his chains around his neck, blasting saxophone next to my boys, standing next to Danny O'Connor from House of Pain. I'm like, if you'd have told the 17-year-old me that you'd have that sax guy who at the time when you watched Lost Boys, you were scared of that dude. You're like, where the fuck did this guy come from? And then you got Danny. I'd be like, the 17-year-old me would have not believed it for a second.
No.
And there we are. So it's cool. And it's not a fame star chaser thing.
No.
It's just like, wow, these people are reachable. And again, we have that same common interest with a lot of people in pop culture. It's awesome. And some people can't relate to it.
Right.
They don't get it, but when you get it, it's awesome.
Right. That's what I try to, I know that the majority of Delta Bravo people listen to this, but like I say it a lot, but I try to get this, maybe someone else will hear a story and understand what it is that we do. And just like me as a kid, like, wow, there's actually a thing like that. And now I can go and do this to do whatever. But real quick, speaking of Tim Capello, I met him a couple of times at different conventions and whatnot.
Right.
But at the All-Star Comic-Con, I bought this from him. Now, like, this background makes it weird.
Wait, is this the baby oil?
Yes. Sergio's Saxy body oil, my man. And then on the back, what does it say? To Jimmy,
Yeah,
I still believe. Dude,
he's the nicest guy.
The best, bro. His wife is a sweetheart.
Yep. Now, was that the year or was it the following year? I think
That was
it the same year where I had Billy
2017.
Mitchell. Was it Billy Mitchell there that year or was it the year after? The King of Kong, the video game dude? It might have been the next year.
Yeah, it was a different year.
So Billy Mitchell, everyone thinks is a villain, right? From the documentary King of Kong with the long hair. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Yeah.
Intelligent, business, super sweet. He's a hype man, like a wrestling guy. So again, being able to reach out and, be friends with someone like that, it's crazy. And I love it. I love it.
It's a very weird, nostalgic, it's like a throwback because, there's the House of Pain, which is also crazy because it's also the Outsiders. And the Outsiders, even before the Delta Bravo thing, or that I even realized it was a thing, like I have a little girl, well, it's not little anymore, but she was 4 years old. And I'm like, let's watch the Outsiders. Like I grew up watching that. So it's just this whole throwback, but spring into the present of all this old stuff that everyone is it's just a weird melting pot of just cool shit.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too, man. It's fucking awesome. And I'll never stop doing this, and especially going out, and I wish I had more time. You know what I mean? Like
what are you talking about? If there's an ongoing tally of Smash Mash, you are definitely not only quality, but definitely quantity.
I know, but I feel like we're on podcast time, but today is Monday. When was it? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I was with my daughter. It was kind of a rainy, shitty day, and I know it is a spot. And actually, Danny Boy puts it up he put it up last St. Patrick's Day. He's like, somebody get me this spot from State of Grace, and it's Gary Oldman and Sean Penn in the cemetery. Now, people say it's Calvary Cemetery. I think it's Calvary, but if you watch the movie, there's a certain angle where you see a portion, one of the structures from the World's Fair, and then they pan over. So it could be that. It could be there's a small Mount. I was going to say Mount Carmel, but that's Waco.
Sinai.
There's like a Mount something small cemetery that if you look at Google Earth, that trajectory of the angle looks. So I actually went into Calvary Cemetery yesterday. I drove around for like an hour, and I drove away, felt defeated,
pissed.
I felt,
but that's part of the hunt. And what's funny is we still do it, but as a family, one thing that I don't know if you've ever done geocaching.
No, but I've heard about it, and I find that to be interesting, and I want to know about it.
When you pull up the app, so I'm not sure where it started. It started out, I think, out in the West Coast, but basically it's called a cache, where it's like a waterproof container. It could be a micro dot, like this big, a magnet that's stuck behind a stop sign. You unroll it as a piece of paper, you sign it, and it's like Delta Bravo. There's rules, but it's all community, right? Yeah. Then there's some where you go find a clue inside a tree. It gives you the longitude and latitude. Then we found a birdhouse in a park. You open up, there's a deck of cards. You had to solve the puzzle to get the key. Then you go like a mile away and unlock it, and there it is. And sometimes there's trinkets and toys and poker chips and army men. So you take one, you leave one, you sign it. There's people that take it seriously. But if you look at the geocache app and you pull up the map, all the dots, right, of where it's worse than like the child molester red dot map.
You know what's fucked up? I don't know if it's more fucked up you said that or I was thinking it before you said it.
You pull it up and you go,
the sex offender fucking thing.
Right. You're like, I can't believe there's 40 geocaches within 5 miles of my house.
Wow.
There's hundreds. So get into it. It's a family thing. The kids getting older, but every time we travel, there's two things we do, right? We find, there's a lot of things. We find the best local food. We find some Delta Bravo spots, and we find geocache. And it's so fun to do. And I got to admit, my wife is the best at it. So me and the kid and her will be looking at clues, and we're looking, and you're touching things. And she's like, there it is. And it's a bolt on the guardrail, but it's a magnet. And no one, you walk by them every day, and then you open it up, you put it back, and you disappear. So it's the same type of things that people like us would get into. You know what I mean? I love
That's kind of cool. I've heard of it, but I never really researched too much into it.
Yep. It's
but
fun.
That's all I need, because I'm a psycho, because I don't drink anymore and I don't do drugs anymore. So it's like I'm all in with Delta Bravo stuff. And it's like I have like a sickness. I'm just trading addictions, I guess.
But so the quantity of good spots you hit is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I like so much different shit. You know what I mean? So it's And plus, like I say this a lot, it's like you said, it's like you find like a good spot to eat. Like you'll find yourself in a place that I would never go to some weird fucking hillbilly, half a hillbilly town in like Connecticut, but 1978, I Spit on Your Grave was fucking filmed there. So
you have to go.
So I'm going there, and next thing you know, I'm in a great fucking diner that I never thought would have been there. You know,
and you talked about it. And you talk about, I think almost every episode it rings true, is there's a magic of standing in the same place that Sylvester Stallone stood, or you're standing in the same place that Woody Allen shot a film, or whatever it is, right? Yeah. There's a magic there that you can't duplicate. And I was thinking about it. My father, he took so many photos growing up, right? He was like a Chinese tourist in Manhattan, but he took us everywhere. I was in the World Trade Center in 77, you know, Statue of Liberty, 40 Deuce. He was a coach. I met Michael Jordan. He's in high school, Coach K, and he has all these photos that I used to be embarrassed of. Now, when I go home, he's 80, he's redoing the photo albums, and he's got like 300, and they're all organized, and it's places of movies, famous athlete, like all this stuff. So I think when I think about it, like that's where I started to always want to take pictures wherever I go, even before we got into this, right?
Yeah.
I was a big Clerks fan. Kevin Smith, just saw Clerks 3. I went to the Quick Stop before Delta Bravo started. I'm standing outside the wall and taking pictures. So when I started getting clued in on this, it made sense, right? Like, take the pictures, man. Visit the diner. You have to.
Right. Yeah.
So it's about travel too. Like we just did those road trips this summer. I know you talked about, but like those are huge. Dude. Like those experiences people will never duplicate. And if you don't stop and hit the local, like Anthony Bourdain style, right? Or diners, drive-ins, and dives. If you don't start doing that stuff, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It's like this whole road trip. I know everybody, I spoke about it a million times, but like I didn't eat at like any chain restaurants at all. Nothing.
Right.
All local spots, local food, and it was awesome. Even if I wanted to do that same exact road trip, it would be a completely different experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like that's why when we were doing it, it's like we were so in the moment, and that's like, and I said it again, like next year is I want to up the ante. Like, I want to up the fucking ante. And I'll tell you exactly, like, I had a couple of different ideas, but what I'm sitting on right now is me and my daughter. It's me and my daughter. And I want to fly one way from JFK, probably to Northern Cali, Sacramento, San Francisco area. Then once I map everything out, but I know I'm going to want to start north and work my way down California, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 days in Cali. But I want to make a big W across the whole country. I want to go down into Arizona, New Mexico, pop all the way up above Texas, hit Tulsa headquarters, then go back down the opposite way of Texas, down into New Orleans, and then hit all that underneath into Georgia, Walking Dead, all to the Carolinas. And so basically a big W. Fly one way, JFK to Cali, and then make a big W back to Brooklyn.
I fucking love it.
2 weeks.
Dude, you got to vlog it. You got to get sponsors. And that's what's funny. We did Cali 15 years ago when he was born. We drove the coast. And you know what's funny? Looking back, I went to the Safari Motel Inn from True Romance.
Awesome.
This was before Delta Bravo, right? So I hit that, the Magic Castle, Hearst Castle, some scenes from Big Sur. So like, I think like you, like I always had those things in my mind. So when I started seeing these mashups, I'm like, oh my, it felt so right. And looking back now, I go through old photos up in Bar Harbor. I went to Stephen King's house.
That's awesome.
I didn't mash it correctly because I didn't know, right?
Right, of course.
But stuff like that was the Rocky Steps. Like it's always been something I've done with my family since I traveled. So this just makes total sense. And I love it. And like you said, I like when people hit spots that have already been hit.
Yeah.
Like you have to. There's no shame in trying to make it better or do it for yourself or different.
Yeah, I don't care. I want to say like Danny Johnson. He's
out crushing it.
Yeah, he crushes it. And one of my favorite spots that he's hit is in New Orleans is the movie Angel Heart.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. I saw him, but I wasn't like, oh, you motherfucker. I was like, that is fucking awesome.
Did you see he just did the Cecil Hotel where the girl
got goddamn right I did. Yeah. Lisa Lamb, the Cecil Hotel. He did fucking Richard Ramirez. Oh, I love all that. Mm-hmm. And the kid, his name is Greg. He lives in the Cecil now. He's a Delta Bravo guy. He lives there. He's posting shit like He's like, what's up with the 4th floor? There's like a naked guy. Like last night, he posted a video. Naked guy's throwing furniture out of his window. It's a shit show over there. But I want to go there. I want to hang out for a little while and see the staircase that crazy Richard Ramirez took his clothes off and went up to his room after it. It's a morbid curiosity, but I love that shit.
100%. The serial killer stuff and all that. Like, I get it. Like, remember you're younger people like, why are they buying John Wayne Gacy's paintings? And you're like, yeah, I'll take them.
I wish I had one of them.
It's crazy, but it all comes back to that common thread stuff. And that's what I love. I was thinking about it today. I'm like, it's never ending.
No,
never. It'll never end.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing about the Delta Bravo group is that there's no rules as far as it's basically whatever you're into.
Yep.
You know, there's guys that do a lot of hip hop stuff, a lot of horror stuff, true crime stuff, like, and I'm all over the fucking place. I'll do What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but then I'll do, you know, Neil De La Croce's house from.
Yo, you got crazy mob hits.
You know, crazy mob hits. Bro, I'm in the hub. Like I'm in Bay Ridge right now. It's like the 5 boroughs. It's 3 blocks from.
Have you seen the one on Instagram? I think it's called All About the Angles.
No.
Where they do a little bit of like Andy does that augmented reality with his art or video. So I'll send you the link. These guys are good. I haven't researched it, but they'll walk down. I think they did the Thriller house. I think they did a backlot. So they shoot it on the video and pause it, and then they superimpose the video over it instead of photo.
Nice.
So we always say, you know, Delta Bravo does it better, but these guys are a nice cousin to it. And I like how they're doing it. I think it's called All About the Angles, which is very cool.
All right, I'll definitely check it out.
Yep.
But do they give up addresses? Do you need to give addresses?
Yep. I think so. But the logo.
You're not a half-ass gatekeeper like, oh, it's like a secret. I hate that shit. Stop it. Get over yourself. You didn't find anything.
Right.
You didn't discover nothing. Yeah, but I was going into the group and I was seeing like there's some shit that you hit that I would love to hit. Like I know you're a big Miami Vice guy. You were in Glory down in Miami doing that shit. Dazed and Confused, Chasing Amy, which I love that movie.
That's probably my biggest genre. The Bad News Bears baseball field and all that blew me away when I was out in LA.
Yeah.
All the Kevin Smith stuff is so near and dear to me. Like I grew up on, I met Kev, I know Ming, like I've just been not in the group, but very like a fringe, right, of that whole thing, which I love. So those spots were huge. Dazed and Confused in Austin was pretty easy to hit, and they came out very good. So I'm happy with those.
See, I didn't even realize that because that's where I landed in Austin. But I had to pick and choose. There's a lot of shit that was filmed in Austin.
I missed a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan shit I want to hit because that's my guy too. So there's a lot of places he played that I missed, but I'll get it.
Listen, it's never ending. It's like this whole thing that I want to do next summer. It's like I'm going to spend 4 or 5 days in Cali. Like my daughter really wants to do California.
Right.
There's so much shit, but like I could spend 6 months in California and still leave wanting to still hit stuff.
Well, me and Mike went out that I did All-Star with when we went to LA for 2-3 days for the Stan Lee tribute we went to. We were just walking by hitting stuff. Like we found the gym from Back to the Future where his band plays for Huey Lewis. And we actually pulled chairs out and sat like Huey and got those.
That's awesome.
We did Harvey Keitel where he says, let's get a taco, where he's standing outside the brick building from Reservoir. We got that.
Yes. Across from the Diamond Wholesaler.
Yep. So I got that, but like we were Ubering like a quarter mile a pop and just bang, 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 bang. So LA is almost too easy.
Yeah. Oh,
There's so much.
Layup.
But you got to do it, right? And California's full of it. So it's good.
Yeah, there's a few spots that I want to hit in California that I know they might have been done by other people, but definitely not Delta Bravo people. Like it's such a terrible. I used to love it as a kid, but you watch it now. It just did not fucking hold up. It's terrible. The movie Body Double.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Bro, watch it now. It's a shit show. It's so bad.
But there's good spots.
But Melanie Griffith in it.
Yes.
Yeah. But
dude, you got to get Side Out. See Thomas Howell, the volleyball movie?
Oh, I'm fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. That's your request. I'll take requests. I'll go hit it. I don't give a shit.
But remember we were talking about like there's so many things you could do. Like you could have another page of like the request, which I love to do too. Like when I find a photo, like I found a Paul Newman in Miami. I couldn't find it when I was there.
Really?
And it was Paul Newman reading the paper when he shot Absence of Malice in some boatyard, and I couldn't find it. There's one of Stevie Ray I sent you, but it's all where they reconstructed, I think not the Bowery, but somewhere in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So those are fun. Like I love when I send it out and someone finds it.
Yeah. Well, Steve Mona has helped me several times. Like that. Like I did something recently, a couple of weeks back. The movie. It's another terrible. It's a terrible stop motion horror movie, Cute, the Winged Serpent.
Yes.
Bro, it's from 1983 or something. The movie looks like it cost $50 to make. It's terrible.
That's some Krull shit right there.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's about a winged serpent that lives in the Chrysler building. It's nuts. But there's a spot at the end where they're killing it, and he smashes into the top of the building. And there I am on this computer for hours on Google Earth looking at the tops of buildings, and I can't find it because I'm in this concentrated area because this shit's filmed at the Empire State Building, the Chrysler building. I'm like, Mona, where is this? He's like, give me a few minutes. About an hour later, he's like,
found it.
He's like, that's blah, blah, blah. That's like 18 Wall Street. I put it on. It's like, sure as shit, exact building. I'm like, how do
That's
you
a beast.
Yeah, Mona is, when in doubt, call Mona.
Well, he's the one that got the Beach Street roof scene where they go and see the pictures of the train. You know what's funny too about the whole thing we've been through is I've been, how do I say this, indifferent with law enforcement, right? I grew up like doing graffiti, like, fuck the cops, right? But I got family that's state troopers, so I'm right, like back to blue, but they're fucked, right?
Right.
But I was so surprised when Danny started getting more involved, how an advocate he was for law enforcement, because you wouldn't think he would be, right? To be honest.
Right.
But when I went to MCA Day and met him, and then I met Naka, who came up to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what's up? I'm like, well, are you serious? Like, Mona, and talk to these guys, like what good guys they are. And it's really made my perception of law enforcement change a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, more than I think it would have without this. Does that make sense? Like,
it makes,
I didn't see that coming.
It makes complete sense. Like, I don't really like to talk about my old podcast, but I had Mona on my old podcast. And before that, it was like, I did an episode with a Brooklyn kid who writes graffiti everywhere, right? He works for the MTA. He had keys to everything, so he's killing everything. But the very next episode,
I got Mona with the Vandal Squad.
I have Mona on. So I'm like, Mona, I had somebody that you used to chase around. He's like, oh yeah, who? I'm like, Tommy Rebel. He's like, oh, Tommy's a good guy. But it was like, I almost thought of it as like Pacino and De Niro in Heat. You're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do. You do what you do. But if we cross paths, someone's going down. It was the same kind of thing, but there was a respect there.
I will not hesitate.
I will not hesitate. But what's awesome is that like Tommy Rebel used to send like Mona Christmas cards. Like, yeah, maybe next year you'll catch me. Shit like that.
Oh, it's so good.
But it's so good. But then Mona has like all like graffiti art in his house that he has. You know what I mean? So he's the former CEO of the New York City Vandal Squad. But he's this cool as shit. And he's like friends with graffiti writers. He's friends with Caves.
It was so interesting to meet those guys right back in the day. And I was like, this
absolutely
is wild.
Yeah, it's great. It makes you think completely differently.
Yes.
At least really in their instances. You know, of course, there's lumps of shit everywhere. Yep. But like Nako, I can't say nothing bad about that guy. Mona, the fucking salt of the earth, like that guy.
Yep.
So, yeah, man. They're dudes doing jobs and trying to do good.
Yeah, but I thought about that when I met him. It gave me a different outlook, a little different respect. Now I was a hater, but I was indifferent, more or less. You know what I mean? But it really made me start looking at things and thinking about things. And nowadays, too, especially the good ones, you gotta stand behind them. So
100%.
That's another offshoot.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So when's the next All-Star Comic-Con?
That's the big question. So I'll keep it short.
That shit was fucking
come back.
fun.
I mean, I think there should be a Delta Bravo con before an All-Star.
You goddamn right there should be.
The slap swap. That's all I'm hearing, right?
But, the slap swap.
I only own 5% of the comic shop. The con went to the wayside. And to be honest, that culture has changed a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. And it is what it is. But when I grew up.
Which culture? Conventions or
comics? And conventions, right? Okay. So, yeah, comics were always kind of geeky, whatever, became mainstream. But I love the art. I knew guys that were like jocks that read comics, right? Or, things like that. It was a whole mix.
Yeah.
And that's what I get into for the art, for the culture. But I think in the last 3 or 4 years, that culture has really just gotten very, I'll say it, right? We're not going to get political, but that they've gotten very meek, very opinionated, a lot of them, very frightened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to get into the debate of left and right. Who cares about that? Right. But I feel like you can't express yourself fully in that culture all of a sudden unless you are on that side. And that's kind of what I feel with a lot of the people and stuff. Now, there's some old school guys. We still hunt Batman comics and stuff. But to be honest, I've lost a little bit of the flavor for it because when you throw a convention now, you better have hand sanitizer. You better have a safe room. You better make sure you represent, you know, the every possible ethnicity. And if you don't, then you're an asshole. Like they've gotten a little, they got some venom to them if you don't do things their way.
Right.
So I want to do it, but I think it might be a little more like graffiti art, comics and things like that. Or like I said, you and I have batted the idea around, and let's drop it right here. Like there should be some sort of Delta Bravo summit.
There should be.
Where we honor the legacy. We could have vendor, like we could have a really cool event. That's something we could snowball with, but I think something more that I relate to, because I'll always love comics. I'll always love art. That whole geekdom thing is huge to me. That's how I learned how to draw.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie is there. And I love so many people in the culture. I don't mean to shit on them, but you look at all these conventions, and I mean, every panel is more political than it is about how to draw a book.
Right.
You know, so I think it just needs to cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
And it'll all come around. Everything does cycle.
I'm old, bro. I'm 52. Like, you know,
I just turned 47. We're basically the same shit.
Right.
We're Generation X, bro.
Yep. Best ever.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
But yeah, we'll definitely do some sort of event, because I can't not do it. And my whole crew's still there. Like my boy Kurt does the design stuff. You do design, Mike, everybody. So everybody keeps asking. I'm gonna let things kind of settle, and we'll come back with something different. I think it's got to be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I threw it out at Danny. There's conversations that will be coming.
Good.
There will be.
It makes sense though, right?
It makes fucking perfect sense. I would be
imagine
so
like
all in, dude.
Like the VIP, like pre-party Friday night, we hang out and do whatever. And then you have panels of like from cats, like how I do missions with an iPad, or you do how to mash up on your phone or whatever. Mona, how to use Google Earth. Like, but I mean, like you could have so much cool shit. I'm telling you, like the sticker swap thing, like we all get together and who's got what, and you trade. Then you have limited edition hats, buttons, and pins just for the event.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah. They could be graffiti shit. They could be, you know, you blow up. It could be like a whole art display thing. Like people blow up like their best or favorite mashes, whatever. There could be all kinds of really cool shit.
You could vote on it too. Like you could literally be like, submit your 10 by or whatever, your 8 by 10 photograph frame. Like you have to submit it in a certain format, and so you get 100 submissions. Then you vote like most original, hardest hit, best mat. Like you could do so much fun stuff. Totally nonprofit.
Yeah,
unless you want, you know, money for the outsider's house or whatever. But like,
well, yeah. I mean, well, we would have to charge something, because the place, you know,
to make it right, to make it work. But it could be a labor of love.
Absolutely. Like this, like, you know, like
the summit, right? I love the summit.
The summit, yeah. Well, just the fuck, yeah, bro. There's so many possibilities, and we'll definitely come back around and fucking talk about it. 100%.
Yep.
100%.
Makes sense.
I hit up Danny. I hit up Danny a couple of days ago, speaking about a couple of things.
Right.
I'm not going to get into, but he's like, the next couple of weeks I'm really slammed, but then stay tuned. We're going to wind up getting me, you, and a couple other guys on a Zoom meeting, not recorded, and we'll all fucking shoot the shit and chew the fat about.
Because it takes time. I mean, it might be 2 years away, whatever. Because I know, just like,
of course, it's got to be done right. It's got to be done organized. It's got to be all the. And me, and Danny is the way Danny markets stuff, and me, I'm very anal retentive when it's certain shit. Every fucking I has to be dotted, like all that shit. So
and if it's a 1 day event too, that's fine. It doesn't need to be this 3 day blockbuster.
It doesn't have to be. We can do like a Friday and then a Saturday, and then like a Saturday night after party or something.
Yep.
It'd be fucking cool, man. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Because the All-Star Comic Con, the one that I went to, was fucking fun as shit.
It's a little different than most cons, right? We try to make it a little more like, not hip, but like have fun shit to do. Like we had Shabba-Doo from Breaking, rest in peace. We had him do a dance workshop.
Yeah.
Like we had the sax man, Tony Capello, where a lot of these now are just vendors selling stuff, which is fine. Or the celebrities, which if you've ever booked celebrities for a con, holy shit.
Oh no,
it's a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. And they're very nice and all that, and it's a business, and I get it. But like that's what I loved about Danny. I said, "Would you come out?" And he was like, "Fly me out, bro. I got you."
Yeah,
like didn't ask for anything, and we gave. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. See, Thomas Howell was there. Pony Boy was there. It was fucking fun, dude. It was a lot of fun.
So yeah, we'll get back into it. We'll figure out a way to tie it all together, do another event, because I love doing events like that.
Yeah, definitely. Good shit. So speaking of Danny Boy and all this stuff, how did you wind up meeting Danny?
So I think it was MCA day. the first big one, right? So long story short, I remember when MCA died, I was devastated. I looked online and somebody tagged me in this thing about going to the park where Mike did the first one, where Ad Rock showed up.
Yeah.
And I literally told my wife, I'm like, I have this weird feeling I should go to that. And I didn't. And I saw the pictures of Ad Rock hugging people and I started friending everybody. I hit Mike up. I'm like, oh my fuck, you know, like,
yeah, man.
So me and Mike became friends. How can I help? Met cats. We had a little squad. So the second year we came, Danny was there. We talked a little bit. And that's when Delta Bravo kind of started. They were doing the TV show thing.
Yes.
And we stayed in touch. And I actually I was doing MCA like artwork and stuff. And I did this picture of him. And he always jokes around because I made it kind of artsy. And he's like, it looks like he goes, what do you say? It looks like I got a wad of gum in my mouth or something. So I redid it. Year 2, I printed one, signed it, brought it to him. And he couldn't have been more nice, right? He's like, oh, this is dope. Thank him. I hang it up. And that's how we started connecting between him and Mike. And then what's ironic now, when you look at it, I've got his number, right? He went to the con and he couldn't have been kinder and nicer. And then he hit me up, who's doing my embroidery for my merch. And my boy, Matt, who lives 2 blocks away from here now, is doing all the merch you see him posting, all the House of Pain embroidered hats and all that stuff. Matt's doing it. Matt hits me up. He's like, I can't thank you enough. That motherfucker moves merch like nobody's business.
Yeah.
He's like, that dude, he's like, he just got 48 hats and they're gone. He ordered 48 more. He's like, I can't even get to your pub shit.
They're gone. I know. And I mean, I fall for it every time. He's like, only made a dozen. And I'm like, shit, sold out. The re-up, but I get them all. I have fucking hats.
Because they're gorgeous. And Matt, the guy that does the embroidery, is fanatical. I'll order 24 hats. He'll give me 26. I'm like, I only ordered 24. He goes, yeah, but look at that B, man. It's kind of fucked up. And I'm like, no. Like, yeah. So he's OCD like Danny is.
Right.
With the quality.
Right.
So match made in heaven. Super happy about that. And when we went to the house again, he couldn't have been kinder. He's like giving my kid razzles in the gift shop and shit. So it was very cool. And when we left the house, I even told my wife, I was like, do you see how happy he is? He doesn't give a shit if he makes $5 today.
Right.
Or 2 people come to the house or he gets the key to the city. Like he's reached that level of peace. And that's what I'm kind of going for, which is funny. So I'm like, I'm very, very jealous of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
After everything he's been through.
So like all power to him, dude. I mean, we all know Danny's history and all that stuff. And to be in Tulsa and to be as humble as he is and
flying airplanes now, doing conferences.
He's on gyrocopters and he's scuba diving in tropical fucking reefs.
Yep. I was there the day you went in the Shark Tank. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? But like, that's how
I want to swim with bull sharks, but you know what? Hey, more power to you.
But that's like you and me, though. That's how I want to live my life. Like, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just
going
to
off
do
the fucking bucket list because why the fuck not?
And that goes back to everything.
Why do you want to do that? Because I can, and that's it.
That's right. And it goes back to explore more, travel often. We escape not to escape life. All that stuff all ties together. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really is. It's neat.
Yeah, man. So now you just recently, well, this is good. We're on podcast. This is going to drop in like 2 weeks.
Right.
But you, a little over 2 weeks ago, you sold out all 31 of your Inktober drawings already. Yep. You did the live and you were like, one of the first ones, you were like, Leatherface, my buddy Jimmy Fry. I was like, you know what? That's awesome, but I think I need a curveball. So I got Clockwork Orange.
Dude, I'm going to do his fucking eyeball with the lashes and shit, and a knife or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, but you do this, like, I mean, other people that might not have seen the live or whatever like that. Like, what is it that you do? Talk about that shit.
If real quick, if you go on Instagram, this guy, Jake Parker, who started Inktober, he's a cartoonist, illustrator, and he's like, he put out 31 words, heart, love, witch, doctor, whatever. And you do a drawing every day for those prompts. You post them on Instagram. It's supposed to make you a better artist. It blew up. The hashtag went crazy. He sells ink pens now. Like, it's a whole thing. He copyrighted it, whatever. So me and my friends started doing it. So I've been doing it like 7 or 8 years. And every year I do something a little different. I love Halloween. I love horror. So I try to do spooky shit because that's what I like to draw. But I've done album covers. I've done puzzles, just weird stuff, trying to make it unique.
You did vinyl, didn't you?
Yeah, I did vinyl, like with the sleeves and everything. And I do some of them Facebook Live. And to be honest, I don't do one every day for October. So I'll start sketching these now.
Yeah.
And I'll go live 3 or 4 times a week. I call it a drink and draw. I have a couple cocktails and just bullshit with people. It's fun.
Yeah.
So we started raising awareness for Stillbrave, which is a childhood cancer foundation. I know you talked to Tom and you saw the video.
Yes.
That's a whole nother.
Dude.
It's unbelievable. What this guy does is sick.
I'm not sure, like, since we're on podcast time, I'm not sure if that episode dropped yet because that's going to be like a bonus special thing.
Right.
But you know that you turned me on to that dude. and I watched his shit.
The realist.
And that, bro, I don't know that guy, but after I watched like one of those YouTube videos, like I want to give that dude a hug, bro.
Bro, that's all he does. And I said, how do you do this? You hold kids' hands as they die. You pay for funerals. He goes, it's like a carousel. If I get off, I'll lose it. I just keep going. And me and him, so he had me bring comic books and go do sketches for kids in the hospital on a side note. And I brought my son and my wife, and we were scared. Like, are these kids going to be bald and freaked out? You know what I mean? Yeah. Could have been nicer. Some of them were, you know, good, some bad. So this one kid was not having any visitors. He was like 13, Devin. And I walked in, his mom's like, he likes graffiti. And I brought markers. I started drawing his name. We started bullshitting. I gave him markers. Long story short, he's in remission. 2 years ago, I went to his art opening. I bought his first piece of art. He wrote me a letter. Like, Tom touches people. Tom carries 200 Polaroids of kids that he's personally known that have died of cancer, right?
Yeah.
He runs a 200-mile marathon up and down Mount St. Helens in 4 days, 50 miles a day. And he's not even an athlete. And every mile he stops and goes, this one's for Jimmy. This one's for Susie. This one's for Bobby. I love this girl. Bro, he starts hallucinating and shit.
Yeah.
And then he was Facebook living, and they're like, if he doesn't reach this mile marker in the next 30 seconds, he's disqualified. So me and my wife are in bed on Facebook Live at 4 a.m. and it's the last 100 yards of the race. And they're like, if he doesn't come over this mountaintop in the next 30 seconds, he's DQ'd. And we're like this. All of a sudden, that motherfucker with his gray beard and his Grateful Dead tattoos is carrying a flag for Stillbrave, comes over the hill like this. Just tears. And he crosses the line, and he pulls out his daughter's hair that he carries with him. Dude, it's unbelievable. And he doesn't pay for medical stuff. He helps out the siblings, or he gets groceries, or like the weird shit because he went through it, you know?
Yeah. The things that you don't think about.
So stillbrave.org, check it out. So what I've been doing is doing a donation where people buy it. After I pay for the materials, I donate the money. So that creates more interest, obviously. And this year, what I'm doing is I brainstormed. I'm doing cassettes. I call it the mixtape edition. So the J cards, remember, that fold out?
Fuck yeah, of
course. Fold out 3 times. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to put a bunch of information. I'm putting a QR code for a Spotify playlist of all these wacky songs that I listen to when I draw, hopefully turn people on to new music.
Right.
I'm going to shrink wrap it and send it out when I'm done. So I love it. It's therapy for me.
Yeah, dude, I get it. It's like, it's like when I, especially with like the flyers and stuff for this, they're very symmetrical. They're all the same. They're certain
tight.
Right. But like my old podcast, I used to spend hours upon hours upon hours on every flyer, but it was like therapy for me. I would just shut all my lights off. I would just have a fucking glass of iced tea or drink 7 Red Bulls and just zone out. And it was therapy for me, you know?
Yep.
So I get it. It's
like my happy hour, right? Like that's what I get to do, but it's fun and it creates community. And like, and what I said about Tom, which is unique when I met him, my kid's healthy, thank God, right? I don't have a dog in this fight, but because this guy's jumped out of an airplane, got beaten up by a boxer, and climbed mountains to raise awareness, all this wacky shit he does has made someone like me, who's fortunate enough not to have to deal with childhood cancer personally, but I've been an advocate. We've helped him raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like what he does works, and he don't take no shit. I heard him on the phone with a furniture company. We were doing a room makeover for these kids. They were supposed to deliver a bed, and some guy fucked it up, bro. He's like, you think I'm gonna, this kid's a fucking kid. He pulled and he hung up the phone. He kind of looked at me, kind of laughed. He's like, sometimes you got to pull that card, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to tell this 4-year-old kid his bed's not ready? Like, give me my shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he's amazing, man. It's incredible. The fact that he hasn't been on the Ellen show and gotten a check for like $1 million pisses me off.
Yeah, really.
Because there's no red tape.
Right. There's none.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing. So I hope you get him on the podcast.
Yeah. No, I am super looking for. That's why I posted something. Basically, I'm doing something different, but there's a connection because I found out through you're a Delta Bravo guy. So, and I almost feel like even if there was no connection and I found out about this guy, I would want to talk to this guy because he's like a special dude, man. Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, he pays himself a minimal salary, and all he does is help people all year round. That's it. I mean, that's all he does. That's it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Hats off to Tom Mitchell, Tattoo Tom. Yeah,
he goes. What does he say? He goes. I'm not handsome Tom or rich Tom, but you don't get to pick your nickname.
Exactly.
He says,
they call me Tattoo Tom for some reason.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, but we do have a spot in common that we both smashed that was both very, very creepy. And I actually used your name. It was so fun. It's another bizarre thing. I tell people at work and friends of that experience. So I go through it like as I pull up to the front gate and blah blah blah, and then I'm screaming from the wall, hello, and no
Charles Chase.
Yeah, I'm like, hello, and I'm like, why am I at the front gate of the Branch Davidian compound yelling from the top of the wall at the church? Like, what the fuck? And then the guy comes. And I start talking to him like, hey, you know, I had a friend, my friend Kevin Bednarz was here a couple of weeks ago. I'm dropping your name at Waco. What the fuck, dude?
Like you're at the club.
Yeah, it's like, I drop a name, I get it. I got to know somebody. I got a Waco guy.
Dude, that was the craziest experience. Like when we pulled
surreal,
up,
dude. I still think about it like, what the fuck was that all about?
When we pulled up, there was another car and it was a couple, but it ended up being a brother and sister. The brother was very nervous and scared. The sister was like, I'm into true crime. She goes, my parents told me about this. I'm like, how old are you? She's like 25. I'm like, I'm 52. My 14-year-old kid is squeezing through the fence. I almost touched this wire, and all of a sudden you hear like, don't touch the electric fence. And I'm like, and we go through all of it. I stand where Koresh played guitar and I see the craziness. And as we leave, to make a long story short, obviously, but once we get out, we were feared for like the girl's brother pulled my wife aside. She told me later, and he was like, we got to run. We got to get out of here. Like it was like the beginning of a horror movie. And my wife was like, don't show fear. Like my wife will fuck somebody up. She's like, don't show fear. Yeah. So when we got on the other side, we all looked at each other and we went, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I was standing there. It was like, this is a horror movie. This right now is a horror movie. I'm in
this is how horror movies begin.
Yes, dude. I'm in the fucking church and I'm looking off to the side and I see the stage and I'm like, I'm on the original concrete slab.
Yep.
Of where the fucking inferno was and the chaos.
Where Koresh thought he was a rock star.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, insane. So I'm talking to this guy. His name is Pete. And then the side door opens up. And here comes a guy with one leg blind and one eye in a wheelchair.
Dude, and the eye is white like Phantasm. Like
yes, it's just like the cataract, weird, cloudy eye. And I'm standing there and I'm looking down at this guy having a 45-minute conversation with like David Koresh's replacement pastor, who's like mangled and blind. This is a horror movie.
Yep. That's why I kept saying when he goes, and the guy goes, yeah, come on in for a little bit and don't let my wife see you. And I'm like, what's up with your wife? And she rolls up in a Caprice with the windows up, smoking a Newport, and just drives away. I'm like, she's going to get the son with the chainsaw. She's going to get the cousin.
Yeah. I'm going to be bleeding out from some weird tree in the back.
And the guy's telling my wife, we got to get out of here. He goes, what's your husband doing? And you know me, this is me. I'm out there taking selfies next to the pool. Like, I don't give a fuck. But what an experience. Like, the fact that we both got to do it this summer, like that one goes down in history. Like
it
that
does.
All the and when I tell people the story, they're like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?
Why not? Exactly. Why the fuck not?"
Yep. Looking
at the fucking DK92 written in the fucking steps that are going to the pool. It's like, yeah, it's a what?
How about the sign? This is where the women and children were gassed.
Yeah, with gas and shit. Yeah, there's a sign with an arrow pointing to a hole. Like
it was unbelievable.
Buried bus area. What? Like crazy.
You got the book, right? Did you get the autographed book for $20?
Of course, for a small donation of $20 to the Mount Carmel Memorial Fund.
So my 14-year-old son's in the backseat reading it as we leave. And he's like, robots, serpents, Satan. And he like he goes, ugh. He throws the book. We go to In-N-Out Burger to cleanse our palate. Get a double.
Nice. Yeah, if you read it, it's written terribly. There's mad typos all over it. There's like one word has like 4 spaces in between it. Words. There's letters in between words that have 2 spaces. It's all fucked up.
It's unbelievable. Like, and we like again, you did your road trip. It was very similar. We did Austin, all this stuff, but we went to the OKC Memorial, which was powerful.
Me too.
We went to Waco and Dealey Plaza, and I'm the biggest JFK buff you've ever met, right?
Yeah, you got me into because I knew you went there, and that was on my bucket list too. And then you had hit it before me, and then you started hipping me to certain things. So I went down this the deepest rabbit hole I've ever been through, and I've been deep. You know, and I had seen, you know, through the looking glass and all that stuff, and which I was sitting there for 2.5 hours with my mouth open, like, how does anyone?
We were there too, and you know what's funny? We say this about every location for people that have never hit spots or go to hit spots. Everything is smaller than you think. Waco, I thought was this massive compound,
right?
Not that big, not that far out of town.
No,
Dealey Plaza, where they clipped them from the fence. I mean, if you think you got hit from the depository, you're not paying attention, but
you're not paying attention.
It's not far.
Not far at all.
Because there's no cell phones and stuff. Everybody ran up the hill. Some guy flashed a badge, get out of here. They got out, whatever. So it's fascinating how close it is. But the JFK stuff is amazing. And this is, I think I told you the story real quick. This was probably my first like Delta Bravo brush, was late 99, maybe 2000. Fletcher Prouty. It was a Secret Service guy, clandestine operations in the government. He's the guy that Donald Sutherland's character was based on, X, in the movie. Right. Remember the guy that spilled everything to Costco and it made sense? Yeah. He's a real guy. Stone pointed him out. So I go on the intranet information superhighway in like 98, find out he lives in Arlington, 30 minutes from where I lived in Virginia.
Oh, shit.
I got his thing. I wrote him a letter. He wrote me back on a typewriter with whiteout. I have the letter. And he was like, here's where I live. Come see me. You have to pick me up. We'll go to lunch. And if you want to come in and talk, I'll show you some cool stuff, basically. Like, thank you. Because I was like, what, you're a patriot. I was 20 years old, 25 years old. I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
And I never followed through and called him to set up a visit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to call him. And he passed away.
Fuck.
And I got a signed copy of his book. I've been by his house. I have a typewritten signed letter, which means a lot. It was one of my most prized possessions in a weird way. But I didn't. Right. I didn't explore. I didn't do the thing. Right. And that's why you got to do the thing.
Sure. Yeah. I have.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. And you say it's one of your prized possessions, but you know what? I get that. I have things that
other people wouldn't give a fuck about.
I tell like there's all these contractors that I work with that are in and out of the building that I work in and this and that. And I tell them all about this stuff. This one guy, Danny, he's a plumber. He's like, yo, and he'll be talking to someone else like, yo, this kid ever fucking tell you how he collects rocks? He collects rocks. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't collect rocks, bro. It's not like I'm going out to the street and picking up gravel. They're from places. Nah, bro, they're rocks. You're crazy. You're an asshole.
I love it. But if everybody did it, it wouldn't be important.
Exactly. You see, I have certain shit that I would never sell.
You got a bigger wait, hold on. You got a bigger piece of the fence than I do. Wait, look, did I show you this? Look at that's my Dealey. Oh, can you see it? That's my Dealey Plaza.
Yes. Yeah, you have your little mission statements sticker there.
Yeah, but my piece of the fence is only that big. You got like 2 arms length.
Mine's like 18 inches. I was walking through Dealey Plaza with a giant piece of a fence down my shorts, walking with a limp, like an idiot. But I was so I felt bad though. I really didn't really mean to get.
Right.
It was a little splinter on it, and I wanted like maybe like the size of like a lollipop stick or something.
Right.
But I guess on the other side where it was nailed, it must have been cracked already. So when I went to go grab it, it was like clunk, clunk. I'm like, oh shit! And I'm not going to throw this away, and I'm not going to start standing there breaking it up. I slide it down my pants.
I love it.
Yeah,
we went to. It was like 104 degrees, dude. I was sweating.
113 in Dealey Plaza the day we were there.
Brutal, but I had to do it. So I know you still got a lot you want to hit. What's like your top 1 or 2 that you haven't hit?
Spawn Ranch.
Yeah?
Spawn Ranch. I need to go to Spawn Ranch. I know that before I go there, I'm going to hit up Danny to get like coordinates or whatever. But I know somewhere out in Death Valley, there's the Manson school buses still out there.
Really?
Yeah. I need to go to the fucking Manson bus, bro.
Yeah, that'd be on my list. Yeah. I'm trying to think what I haven't hit that I want to hit. And it's not because they kept it, and it's a little touristy now, but it's still free. If you go to Tunisia, you can hit the original Tatooine Star Wars stuff.
Oh, no shit.
Home. Really? They have the dome still there. Like, that would be tight.
That's sick.
That would be tight.
I'm starting to think good.
International. No, I'm just saying, like, yes, I'm
thinking international. Yeah, I'm thinking like along like bucket list spots like for next year, things that I know I need to see before I tap out. But like, I wish that, like Reservoir Dogs, I wish that the warehouse, the garage was still there. Yeah. I wish, but it's not.
What about the brick wall where they're walking? That's still there.
It's got to be still there.
Like, there's still a lot you can hit. There was one. I was in Chicago.
The coffee shop is still the same. Where in the beginning,
coffee shop's the same. I hit all the swinger spots. Right, I'm a huge fan of the Dresden, Marty and Elaine. Marty, rest in peace. Right, like all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest ones I want to hit that I missed is in Chicago, Color of Money, the pool halls, if they're still around. And the streets and the bars and all those. There's so many spots in Chicago for Color of Money, which is one of my favorite flicks. That's the shit I want to hit. Yeah,
that's awesome. Angel, like I said before, Angel Heart is shit that I want to hit.
That's New Orleans, right?
Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
We were down there. I didn't hit it.
There's a spot up somewhere in Harlem that I did not hit from Angel Heart. And there's 1 or 2 down in Chinatown, which I hit. And there's a few out in Coney Island, which I hit. But a lot of it is in New Orleans.
All right. I still got to go to Sedgwick Ave, like Cool Herc. I still haven't been there.
Oh, you haven't been to the birthplace of
No.
hip hop?
No, that's one on my list too. I'll get that one. I'll get that easy.
Yeah, it's just a building on the side of a fucking.
Yeah. My first one ever was when we went to Boston outside of Fenway for the town. When outside Fenway.
That's shit that I want to hit too.
And I did it on a whim and it came out great. And I remember I sent it to Danny and he goes, let me properly mash it for you with the logo. Cause I was like on my phone. This was years ago.
Sure.
And he posted up and that was the first one. I did the House from Singles out in Seattle was dope.
Nice.
That was a fun one. I did Twilight out there, which I'm not proud of, but you got to do it.
Hey, listen, I did stuff with my daughter. There's a movie called Wonder. I did that for my daughter. But my daughter's like, she's starting to get into stuff that I like. The Basketball Diaries, like dark, crazy shit.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm trying with the kid. I'm forcing him to watch movies. I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, she went through her little girly phase, you know, with the blah, 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 with the princesses or whatever. And then the other night I hear her on the phone with her friend. She's like, yeah, I was never really into princesses because I'm not basic. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
She watches.
She's like, I'm out smashing locations.
Yeah, she's out. But she's really getting into it. Like she's looking up spots in California that she wants to hit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's another spot that I have to hit is where Vince Neil crashed the car and killed Razzle.
That's a good one.
I got to get that. You know, and even like the stupid Sunset Strip shit from back in the days. Like I know it's not there anymore, but I want to get and maybe mash where like Gazzari's used to be. I want to
Viper Room, all that stuff.
The Viper Room. I want to go inside the whiskey and get like shots from like the Kickstart My Heart video from Motley Crue in the whiskey, like shit like that. Like I need to hit the Poltergeist house. That's getting hit.
That's a good one. I hit Happy Days house. I hit the Freddy house.
That's all. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street has to be done. I want to hit
the Halloween hedges where he stands at the hedge.
I got to do that. It's been done so many times, but there's something that you just have to do.
Yep. You know what's funny too? I even did, I don't know if this was before or right as I started, we used to all go to my grandmother's house for Christmas Eve. We take the family photos on the table, everybody smoking butts and drinking. And then somebody bought the house and I went back in years ago and got the picture and I did it myself just for my family of like what it looks like now. Like that shit too. I go back to my high school, like from yearbook photos and stuff. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, even like the Fast Times at Ridgemont High stuff. I know that my daughter wants to hit grease spots.
Yep.
Like I'll hit grease spots. Of course, I grew up watching that movie. I don't care what anyone says. Of course, you know, grease is fucking grease. You know what I mean? Yep. So, you know, the Thunder Road. I want to go there and mash where the Thunder Road was, you know? Shit like
you know what the other thing I was trying to find, but I think everybody has taken them or you can't get them. Do you know what the Toynbee tiles are?
The who?
Ooh, all right. The Toynbee tiles, Toybee, I believe, tiles. There's a movie. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Long story short, you might have seen them in Manhattan, Philly, other places. People would take broken ceramic and put them in the streets and create like a design, like the size of a license plate. And they put like a quote or a sun thing, whatever, and they put it in the concrete. You might have never noticed it, right? But it was like a piece of art they dropped in. There's a movie about a guy before the internet, then the internet, who started trying, like, who the fuck is doing this shit, right? It's like Turkey 183 or Turk 182.
Right.
And then there's copycats. And people started digging up the original. There's this crazy story how he found who the guy was. He was this eccentric old man who had to cut a hole in the passenger side of the floor of his car. He'd park on the street, do the work, right? Let it sit and take off.
Wow.
And he posted like these Carl Sagan, like fucking quotes about the cosmos. He was nuts.
That's awesome.
Tiles. I'll send you a link of the movie. It's like a treasure hunt, so you'll love it.
Yeah.
But that's one, because I know there's one in DC. I think there's still an original. I know some in Pittsburgh and Philly. So that's like a whole nother thing that you probably have walked on.
I probably have.
In the city.
Yeah.
Never noticed. Yeah. 20 tiles.
I want to hit Wonderland Avenue, the 4 on the Floor murders, the Wonderland Avenue.
Oh, little John Holmes shit.
Little John Holmes.
Boogie Nights too. There's some good ones to hit.
One gun to my head, my favorite movie ever. I'm telling you.
Hey, that's Cosmo. He's Chinese.
He's Chinese. Come on, you guys want to play baseball? The most listen when I used to be doing all my shit back in the day.
That's the most realistic feeling of how it feels when you're wrecked,
bro. When I'm sitting there and doing that kind of shit,
or you're not doing it and you feel like you're doing it because you're watching it.
The scene with Julianne Moore and Heather Graham when they're in the room, will you be my mom? Will you be? And they're all yacked. Oh my god! It's like my stomach. I gotta go to the bathroom when I watch that.
It smells like a $20 bill right now.
It's brutal. That movie is fucking brilliant.
But you know what's great about that movie? The soundtrack, the acting, and how many shots they shoot one continuous scene in the house, out the house, under the pool, out to burn, whatever. Like, it's amazing. It's a great.
Don Cheadle as the cowboy. It makes you want to freak.
Oh, I shot the scene. You know where he gets blown away in the donut shop?
Yes.
I shot that. The lady, little Korean owner, let me go behind the donut thing and shoot from behind. So I got the scene where he's picking
Oh my God. You see, that's the shit that I wanted.
I got it. Yep.
These weird, random. Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Boogie
Yeah,
Nights.
all that's in LA. When we hit LA, we did so many in such a short amount of time. And that was one. My buddy Mike's like, where are we going? Oh, we went to the pawn shop from Pulp Fiction. They don't let you shoot in there, but we shot it outside. Zed's dead.
Oh, you can't even take a picture?
I get a picture outside. I couldn't do it inside.
Oh, man. Let him buy something from the pawn shop. Let me take a picture.
I tried. But the donut shop, she let me behind the counter and I got it. Like I'm shooting over the fucking bear claws at my boy's face.
Nice. See, that's awesome when they when they let you do that. There's a bar downtown Manhattan. I don't remember exactly where, but a scene from State of Grace was filmed there. And I walked in there and they changed it. Like the arches in the place are the same, but where the camera was is now a giant pizza counter with pizza ovens because it used to only be a bar. Then they started making pizza there. So I asked the guy, I'm like, listen, this is the shot that I want. I showed him, I gave him my whole spiel of what I do.
Right.
Like, can you just let me go? And he let me behind the pizza counter with all everything is there. And I got my shot though, because there was no way with the spacing that I would have been able to get the shot, but he let me behind the counter.
I love it.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, if you present yourself like a half a normal person and you explain yourself, then they'll let you do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
You know, most of the time. A half a normal person. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's like, you know, whatever.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, dude. So how much more of your Inktober stuff you got going on still? How many more you got to draw? When am I getting my shit? November?
So no, because we had to test the paper, the folds, right? Think about it. My boy who does my design did all the design.
I'm only breaking your chops. I am in no rush for it, dude.
Dude, but he's like, he goes, you got to think about it. Is the paper good? So I had to test it. I can't use Sharpies because it bleeds through. Then we got to fold it. So I got those folding, like there's actually folding tools you can get because I don't want to fuck up the artwork, right?
Right.
So it's become this whole thing. But my buddy Kurt Comfort, Loud and Pride, who does all my design stuff and everything, like he's so OCD about shit. Like he's like you, like with the design, like it's got to be quality.
Yeah.
But he puts me in a good frame of mind. He's like, we got to test it, man. Don't just throw it out there. Like test it. And we go back and forth. So I got the files, and I don't know if I showed you, I don't know if I have it, but do you remember in the 80s, all bands under most labels like Loverboy, Judas Priest had that red font on the spine of the cassette?
The red, it's like Impact, like the red bold font, all capitals.
Yes.
Of course. I think it was Capitol Records. Yes. Oh, yeah, look, that's mine.
Right? So that'll be the spine. That's the front. Stillbrave bio, my bio, whatever QR. So we had to play with it. So I had to draw on one side, do like a sketch and see what bleeds through. So like we're almost there with the prototype. I got parental advisory.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's gonna look fucking legit. We're gonna shrink wrap it. I'm gonna put stickers. The nice price. Remember that from like
of
Capitol
course,
Records, whatever.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that on there. And then I bought on eBay a cassette attaché case. Remember you have in your car?
Yes.
So you get an original, so-and-so gets an original, I send them out. And then what I'm going to do, once these are all original drawings, we're going to scan them in, make prints. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to make 31 bootleg cassettes, not originals, sign it. My girl, Jamie, who's a big supporter of us, bought it for $1,200 already.
I saw that because I watched the live because you tagged me. I watched you live. And then I went and I was checking it out and I was like, and I looked and a few hours later, I looked all the way at the bottom was the fucking whole case, and it was like out of stock. I'm like, that is awesome. And
Kurt's gonna kill me because I'm making 2 because I gotta have one. I want the.
You said that. Well, you said you want to make 2 because you want one.
He's pissed. He's like, you know how much work that is? I'm like, we got to do it. But she bought it. She actually was like a big part of America's Most Wanted, the show, for years.
Really?
Yeah. She gave me like I have an official like pen light from Adam Walsh, like some cool shit. Again, pop culture, right?
That would be a
big advocate. So yeah, she bought it. I'm super proud of her. Like I'm so stoked.
That would be a crazy spot to hit. That's in Florida. The Adam Walsh thing.
Woo,
that was in Florida.
How about if you tried to hit all these Zodiac spots?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm a huge Zodiac, I don't want to say fan, buff.
Right. Well, yeah, I know. It sounds weird, but I get it.
I can tell you.
I know who's your favorite serial killer. It's like
Zodiac. Oh, and actually, the Golden State Killer too. That's a big one. They just caught him.
Did they?
So, long story short, Patton Oswalt, the comedian, right?
Yes.
his wife, Michelle McNamara, who's just a writer, just a journalist, whatever, not really investigative. This Golden State Killer went on for decades. No one could catch him. He would break into people's houses and he'd tie him up on their belly and put like a teacup on their back, on the father, and be like, if that tea spills, I'm going to kill you. And then he'd like attack his wife next to him. Dude, he'd steal earrings. They almost caught him a million times. He was sneaky as shit. It went on for decades. Michelle McNamara started she was the original online sleuth, right?
Wow.
Like Don't Fuck with Cats. Remember that documentary, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
she was the original one. She became obsessed, bro. Like she couldn't sleep. She's taking Xanax. Like she's getting it. Like she was obsessed. She realized, she went online, in her online community, they were talking about 23andMe DNA is how they're going to catch this guy. Unfortunately, she passed away. It was probably like a little bit of an overdose of stress and pills. So Patton was pissed off. 2 months later, they caught the guy. Guess how? DNA.
Oof.
And the police commissioner did a press conference, and someone goes, "Oh, I'm sure Michelle's book and all her research had a lot to do with it." And they were like, "No, we were going to get him anyway."
Oh, it's
Patton was like, "Fuck," you know what I mean? He's like,
yeah.
So there's a book called, I think it's called Chasing the Dark or something like that. She wrote. It's unbelievable.
Really?
The Golden State Killer, dude. It's insane. And he was a cop. He ended up being an ex-cop.
That's insane. That's so crazy. It's such
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah. You know who's a sick bastard that doesn't get enough shine? It's terrible. Doesn't get enough shine.
Ramirez?
Yeah, no, but like the toy box killer.
Don't know it.
What Charles Lee Ray? That's Chucky. Hold on.
Not BTK.
No, but it's the toy box. David Parker Ray.
No.
Dude, bro.
I'm looking up right now. Toy box?
Bro, the toy box killer. Bro, I'm telling you, New Mexico. Go. Do you ever hear the podcast called The Last Podcast on the Left?
I've never listened to much of it, though. I've heard of it. It's good.
I got turned on to the toy box killer from a 3 or 4 part.
Okay, that's it. I'm a podcast junkie.
And there is not very much on the planet that makes me like wince or cringe. I was like,
really?
Fuck, dude. Yo, it's fucking so heavy and twisted and disgusting and fucked. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta write it down too. I can't just put my
It's a deal, bro. Yeah.
You know what I just read too? I can't think of the name of the book. It's in the other room, based on it's a true story. A young woman gets abducted by a guy and his wife, but mostly the guy's a sicko, and they take her home and they put her in a box under the bed, like she can't move, and they keep her there for years. When they let her out, they put a box on her head, like she doesn't see the light of day for like 9 years. They abuse her, all this crazy shit. Eventually, he tells her the government is after her. That's why he kidnapped her. He had to change her name for her safety. And she's so brainwashed when they go out to dinner in public, and eventually they let her out of the house on her own.
Wow.
When it goes to trial, when they finally find detectives to convict her, they're like, well, you were free. Why didn't you leave? Are you making this up? Like, he had her so brainwashed, he almost got away with it.
Wow.
I'll get you the title. Yeah. There's a lot of shit I got to share with you, dude. Like, you would love.
I'm into all this fucking insanity, bro. Yeah, but dude.
Why is that? Let's talk. Why is that?
Well, I don't know. But this is what I don't know. This is DNA. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is, as far back as I can remember,
I always wanted to be a
gangster. I know. I had to go through my head too, dude. I remember as a kid, I don't know, maybe 6 years old or something, I opened up the TV guide and I saw the whole full page ad for the TV movie Helter Skelter. And I met Steve Railsback, the guy that played Manson. And I was like, I was fanboying out in my head, bro. It was bad. I was like, my ears felt hot. Like I was all fucked up. I was having a moment with little Manson. So I remember seeing that, and I really didn't have any idea what it was about. It just said Helter Skelter was like the crime of the century, and a picture of him looked like a dirty hippie. And there was something about that image and whatever was said about it in the TV guide. I was like, I need to watch this. And
it's punk rock, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, and it takes you away, because when I was a kid, now it's my favorite movie, the Salem's Lot TV show. I slept with the lights on, dude. I was scared. I told my mother I had a stomach ache. I could sleep in your room. Like, it petrified me, and I hated horror movies as a kid. Now I want to be dropped off in a penitentiary with demons by myself and leave me alone. Right. So I've gone a complete 180. Right. I go to haunted houses, like 5 of them every year, and I'm first in line by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in. Right. So I think it's a dopamine hit. I think it's punk rock. I do remember. Did you ever read the book Say You Love Satan, the Ricky Casso story on Northport, Long Island?
No, but I know all about him. And the Acid King was a crazy documentary.
The Acid King. So I read the cover. Remember the cover? Was his face?
Yeah.
So reading that was like a thrill, right? Like, you were scared. And I dated a girl in college. I went to the woods in 1988, 89.
Out on Long Island?
Yup. So there's a mission, right? Like in 88.
Oh, I have a friend that knows all the spots. I need to link up with him and go out there and hit him.
So I think that's it too. Like, oh, this is real. So I've always loved that stuff. And it's bizarre, right? Because people are like, oh, what are you, fucking crazy? But like, I don't know what it is. It's, for me, that's rock and roll, or it's punk rock, or it's interesting.
It's I've always been interested in that kind of stuff. As a little kid, I remember hearing like my parents talking about like The Exorcist, and the big thing that always stuck in my head was, oh, there's a certain scene where her head spins around.
Yep, that was huge.
That is like the least thing in the movie that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, the rest is disgusting.
Yeah, the rest is just a shit show. And I remember watching that, and that movie fucked me up.
What movie still scares you?
Still scares me? I don't know what still scares me. It's like The Exorcist is still, it's an...
Like, if you put one on, Home Alone with the lights off, the one you're going to be like, fuck.
You know what was the most recent movie that fucked me up, dude?
What?
And it's another thing, like I said, with the Toy Box Killer, I don't get fazed by horror.
Right.
I'm so desensitized to all that stuff. But when the credits were rolling and it was over with, I was just like, I don't feel good. I just
What flick?
don't fucking feel right. And I'm not like this whole spiritual person, but I was like, something is off in me.
What movie?
Hereditary.
That's pretty good. That's a good flick.
I was fucked up from that movie, dude. It was.
Here's my thing. I like ones that are possible. I don't like super supernatural ones.
Me neither.
Even The Conjuring is good.
It is. It's entertaining. It's more entertaining than anything.
The slasher, Halloween, Scream, love all those. Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby to me is scarier than some of the other ones. But you know what movie is probably, I think, the most underrated horror flick because of the realism? The Strangers with Liv Tyler.
Awesome movie.
Totally believable. Not once do the heroes do anything stupid.
Nope.
They do everything that you and I would do. And there's that one scene where she's smoking a cigarette and the guy comes in with the pillowcase.
Yeah.
And then they pan down to the cigarette and come back and he's gone. So you're like, the fucker's in the house. And then at the end, it's not a Hollywood ending. They get killed.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's realistic. To me, that one gets me because like that could really happen. Everything else, like Sinister, is fantastic, but it's supernatural.
Of course.
So
there's a big, huge. There has been a big possession thing going on a lot.
They're good. They're good.
They are, but after a while, it's like, all right, whatever. That's why it's like when Hereditary came out, I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I like that director. He did Hereditary. He did Midsummer. Did you see Midsummer?
I got to see that. I heard it's good. It's like The Straw Man, right? Or like
it's you know how horror movies are. 99 out of 100 times in a horror movie, everything is dark. It's rainy. It's gloomy.
This is a bright, slow burn, right?
This is the summer solstice in fucking like Norway. You're not getting brighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a theater. I'm in a small theater, the Nighthawk Cinema, a really cool little tiny little cinema where you can, like, if I drank, you could get a glass of beer. You can get food. Really cool, maybe 15.
And I don't mean a paper cup. I'm talking about a glass.
I'm talking about a glass of beer. Talking about a glass of beer, Royale with cheese, of course. I need to hit Pulp Fiction spots bad, but I'm watching it, and the fucking theater is just bright the whole time because it's just that way. And in order to pull off horrific shit to make you feel funky in that kind of an atmosphere, and to actually pull it off takes something. So the guy Ari Aster, it's like, I'm really looking forward to what he's going to put out next because he's young, but he's super smart and he's super creepy with some weird oddball.
I like it. Yeah. Like, I watched X. I thought X was a little overrated, but it was good. Good.
I didn't say it.
Yep. Hold on. Going to bed?
Yeah.
Love you. But you know, it's fun. Like there's so many to see. I love going back to the classics. I like going to film noir, like Double Indemnity and stuff like that is good flicks.
Sure.
Love UFO flicks. What's your take too? I'm sure you have the same interest. Are you up on the Jeremy Corbell and Bob Lazar shit with Rogan?
I am. It's fun. All right, so are you gonna ask me about aliens?
I mean, Bob Lazar's legit, right?
Listen, I went to DC and I smashed the day the Earth stood still shit from the 50s.
Right. But Bob Lazar, Jeremy Corbell, Stephen Greer's a little out there, but I think these guys are legit. Lazar has no reason to lie. When you listen to him and his story's never changed and it all checks out.
Right.
And do you remember right before 9/11, you know Stephen Greer is Disclosure Project?
He sounds familiar, but I'm
not going
to sit here and
I got to send you like a list of fucking hyperlinks.
You do, man. I'll go all in.
I'm going to keep you up all night, which I love.
That's fine. I have downtime at work sometimes. I'll be all in.
Hey, boy, quit collecting rocks. So Stephen Greer was a medical doctor. He got involved in UFOs. So he held a conference at the National Press Club in D.C. with 30 people from Raytheon, CIA, government, Northrop Grumman, credentials out the ass. Okay. They brought up, UFO blueprints, reverse engineering. Ooh. We've captured it like in front of the National Press Club, like September 9th, 2001. And they all said they'd swear in an affidavit. Unbelievable. 9/11 happened. That shit disappeared, but it's still online. But Greer's a big one. He's kind of like Jeremy Corbell and Lazar. Like these guys, they're like the Phoenix Lights. Like there's some out there, the Rendlesham Forest experience. Like there's some that I'm like 90% is probably bullshit or military, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right? 95%.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bullshit because it's a thing and people get exposure and a little 15 minutes of fame. And I get that.
But the military's declassifying the Tic Tac and the gimbal one and all that shit they see. Like
I know. Like I went to when I was in the Air Force, and I was stationed in New Mexico in Cannon Air Force Base in Clovis, New Mexico. And my sister flew out there and shit like that. We snuck her into the dorms and shit and onto the base and shit. And we drove down to Roswell. Like I was at Roswell, and it's so gimmicky over there. They're totally cashing in on it.
Oh, the diners and all the signs.
The UFO museum, and you walk in there, you pay $5, and it's like a clay head that someone made. You could buy.
But it's right, yeah. But it's still similar. Like it's very interesting. I love the cryptid shit. I don't believe in too much. Mothman, I'm totally in though.
Right, like crop circles and shit.
Who knows, right?
Right.
Egypt, come on. The pyramids, they couldn't like it's so I love
the pyramids is something that makes my head hurt because that shit.
And that's why I like listening to Rogan, because Rogan always has intelligent people on where it's very basic and he's just asking questions and it makes you go like, holy shit, right? Like it's not crazy, but those are the podcasts I listen to, man. The true crime and all that shit. Like, I don't know what it is about that. I don't understand how a lot of average people aren't interested in that.
I know.
Right?
I look at the average person. Like I work in a building, and it's all business, it's all corporations, and it's all white collar people. And I see them walking out of the elevator. I see them in and out. I see them up in their offices, and I'm just like, what do you do? But then again, I'm like a half a psycho because I'll be in the lobby, like waiting on something or about to do whatever, doing maintenance on elevators or whatever. And then I'll see like 3 guys, suit and tie guys with their matching socks that you make sure that you can see that matches their handkerchief and the $200 haircut. And they'll be talking, but I'm looking at them and all I see is fucking Patrick Bateman.
That's Bone.
I'm like, that's Bone. The fucking business gods. And he gets pissed.
So good.
And I look at him, I'm like, that's Patrick Bateman. Like he right now has a prostitute like in handcuffs and gagged underneath his bed in his basement.
And that's the thing, because the more you learn, and you know what though, like everybody's got their passion, right? Or what turns them on or whatever blows their hair back, right? But the world around us is so fucking fascinating, whether you're eating it, like you said, eating in a diner, traveling, taking pictures of a location, or reading about like what could really happen with UFOs or whatever. Like, I don't know, like that keeps me interested in the world.
Me too.
Right? Above and beyond all the political bullshit everyone has to argue about, like that stuff that keeps me interested. Like, and you find common people have common threads. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like Danny Boy says, I'm going to butcher. He said something like money comes and goes, but like memories and experiences last forever.
Right.
And it's just like, Listen, I have a halfway decent job. I'm good by myself.
Right.
I pay all my stuff on my own. You know what I mean? It took me a while to get here. A lot of bumps and a lot of fucking shit. You know, a lot of it that I brought on myself, some not. But I'm in a place right now where I'm comfortable. Am I a millionaire? Do I have a gigantic bank account? No. Am I okay? Am I worried about next month's rent? I'm not. You know what I mean? So, which is cool. So I don't care. Like this last road trip, I probably dropped, I don't know, it was like $3,500. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's
So
7 days and it's 3,500 and it's not, I'm not,
So what?
I could have taken that and spent the week on an island and just laid there on the beach and be, you know, oh, the ocean is pretty and that's a nice palm tree, but that's the only story I would have.
I tell my wife all the time when we talk about vacations, and we've done this before Delta Bravo, which is what I keep saying, which I love. We flew to California, San Diego, rented a car and drove all the way up to Oregon and flew home. So we got to hit everything. So our road trip this summer, I think I told you, my son's 14. He's got a map on the wall. He's been to 28 out of 50 states at 14.
That's amazing.
So the goal is to hit all 50, Hawaii when he graduates high school.
Beautiful.
So I told him, I was like, you got to figure out the next road trip. He's like, we haven't been to Rhode Island, but we've been everywhere in between. I go, so you telling me I got to fucking fly just to Rhode Island, go to Martha's Vineyard, take a picture and fly home? He's like, yeah, man, sorry.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure it out together. And on our last road trip, he helped me map it out. And I think I told you right before we left, I bought these leather travel journals and these cool pens. We got on the plane, handed one to my wife, handed one to him. They're like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, we're going to write in these. And they kind of were like, whatever. By day 3, my wife was saving the rodeo ticket and the receipt for her cowboy boots in Nashville.
I save all of that, dude.
So we started writing in them. Of course, I'm tuned up every night. So I'm drawing and sketching. And we wrote every night and we kept everything and we haven't opened them yet. So this was in the summer. So I said, you know what? I think Christmas Eve or Christmas when we have downtime, we should open them and kind of read them. And I know I appreciate it. I know she does. He doesn't yet, but like, that's the shit. Like Danny said, like, that's what's most important. And that's why I'm so envious of his lifestyle, because he's done it all.
Yeah.
And he's just chilling. He said, he goes, I just feed the cats and dogs that come by the house, man. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm so busy running restaurants and doing this and drawing, which I love. I love the excitement. I love the energy, but I'm getting to the point where like, I just want to kick back at the cabin, man, and fucking watch serial killer documentaries and fucking draw cartoons. Like,
right. Yeah.
Right? That's the plan. And then just travel. So
yeah, I save all that shit too. Like when I like, if I leave a hotel, like, can I keep the room key? Like the Graceland room key. You know what I mean? From the Graceland.
Hell yeah.
I have all of that shit.
How much shit did you throw away you wish you had?
Oh my God. Do you know what popped in my head from years ago? All my ticket stubs, concerts and shows and stuff. I have a lot, but a lot have been gone.
Dude, I had like 2,000 DVDs I sold for like $300.
Oh,
like,
me too. My record collection.
Do you know how many Kiss FM mixtapes? I grew up in Syracuse, New York, bumfuck redneck town outside the city, but I had a boy who lived in the city and would send me WBLS in 1983.
Wow.
84. So I was the wigger white boy, right?
Yeah.
With the cassettes that no one heard from WBLS. I had them all gone.
Of
course.
course.
Imagine shit that I mixed together. My boys were all gone. Like,
yeah, dude. I had a huge Fangoria magazine collection. Sold
Starlog,
Gore Zone.
Yes.
All of that shit, dude. I had so much.
Mad.
I didn't have a lot of Mad. I had a few. I had a record collection, and I think it was like when my daughter was first born, and it was the first time father, and I'm nervous, and I'm like, really, it's like I could use the extra money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really kick myself in the ass, because in that situation, I did what I felt was the right thing to do. It's not like I pawned them off to buy crap.
No, and everybody had Star Wars toys. Like I still have some, whatever, but now I try to keep those things.
Yeah.
And I'll collect those things. Like Danny sold me I got the Warriors 35mm trailer in the can, the original film trailer. Like who's got that?
It's amazing.
Right? Like, so I like the mementos of life, even though I'm not a hoarder. I got a lot of shit in the office, but like,
yeah, me
those
too.
little things are awesome.
Yeah. It's good shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm always, I'll be at work, I'm looking, but I work on 45th Street and like on Vanderbilt Avenue, which is like 4 blocks from Times Square. And I've hit so much. It's like there's only so many fucking hit times I could hit Grand Central, which is literally connected to the building I work in. But I'm always looking for stuff. I have 300 and something pictures in my Delta Bravo folder in my phone yet to be hit. You know what I mean? So
the quality and the quantity master.
Yeah, and that's not even California. This is like the tri-state area. This is like Jersey, Long Island, and the 5 boroughs. You know,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like to live here. It's a playground, bro. It's never
You
ending.
know what? You got to hit some Staten Island. You ever seen the movie Black and White
I have
with
not.
Robert Downey, Mike Tyson, Brooke Shields?
No.
Bro, I gotta start writing down the shit I gotta send to you.
You gotta send me a grocery list, bro.
You never seen Black and White?
No.
Oh, it's so
Island?
good. What about Laws of Gravity with by Nick Gomez, the old indie flick?
I've seen that. That's out on Staten Island too?
No, that's in the city
Okay.
with Peter Green.
Yeah.
It's like Peter Green's first indie movie. What about Amongst Friends by Rob Weiss?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna send you some shit.
Yo,
dude.
send
I'm
me
telling you,
some
it's gonna blow your
shit.
hair back. I mean, shit that you are gonna be like, how did I miss this?
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Good. Turn me on to shit.
Yep. I got them on VHS and shit too. Like,
Nice.
yep.
Nice.
It was funny. I posted Amongst Friends. I watched it like it was on HBO random. It's an indie flick. Rob Weiss, who dated like Shannon Doherty.
Okay.
He was like the Hollywood. He was kind of like a douche, like the 90s, whatever guy. And I
Yeah.
posted it, and Danny goes, Rob Weiss, line one. I didn't know Rob was on Facebook, and he chimed in. He's like, "What's up, Danny? Looking good." And I was like, "Yo, Rob, this movie's the shit." And he's like,
Oh
thanks."
shit. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Oh, he was a co-producer on Entourage too.
Oh no shit.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
So yeah, I'll send you a bunch of stuff, man. You'll love it.
Yeah, send me shit, dude. I
'Cause
appreciate
I like
it.
when people do that. We start talking flicks, and I'm like, I've never seen that. Like, I'm gonna send you a list or a playlist of songs or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm,
Like the Salton
dude,
Sea
I'm
with
an
Val
open
Kilmer.
book, dude. What happened?
You ever see the Salton Sea with Val Kilmer?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I think we when I saw you at Purcellville Eats, I think we
Yeah, we
spoke
talked, yeah.
about that. That
So
is
that's always my lynch. Yeah.
It's a super underrated, slept on, under the radar movie, dude. So fucking good. But what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio as Pooh
Oh.
Bear, dude.
I'm a
Dude, you
dog.
have no nose, bro. It's insane.
Whoever wrote that is insane. They redid the JFK assassination
With
murder.
pigeons, he's
And all these
reenacting.
side stories like Pulp Fiction esque.
Dude, so good.
Yep.
Super good movie. The Salton
Love it.
Sea, kids. If you can find it, watch it because it's
Rent it, watch it, and then watch it again.
yeah, 100%. Good shit. See, so now is that out in California?
I think
I
it's
got
in
it.
you.
Is it?
It's Nevada and California, I think, or LA. I think no, it's just outside LA.
All right. See, now I might have to go hit some Salton Sea spots.
There is spots in there too you can hit. Definitely.
Oh, you gotta go hit spots. I want to hit the inside of the hotel room where the guy's in between the mattresses. I
What do you say? I got no vocational skills.
had no vocational skills. There's harpoons. Oh, Jesus Christ. Spear guns.
That's the dude who is the Music Man license plate in the movie Speed. Remember the black dude driving the convertible? In
Is
Speed?
that the same guy?
Same guy.
That's heavy.
There you go.
That's good shit.
Yep.
Yeah, we can talk movies for 17 hours, I'm
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected. The pop culture, the go. See, like Salton Sea. Now I'm gonna put it on my little list, and I gotta go and see if I can hit a spot or two or
Yep.
five. You know?
Oh, you hit some of those. I'll be your biggest fan.
Oh, listen. I'll coordinate. I love doing that part of it too. Like this whole last road trip, I love. It was so much work and figuring out how many miles and this and
Yep.
time and all right, just proximity and what makes more sense to hit them up. I love doing all that stuff. So
Yep.
I'll work the Salton Sea into my route, dude.
But like you said, like when we go on vacation, like I've never been a guy to go sit on the beach for 7 days. Occasionally you rent a beach house and get away.
Sure.
But even back in the day, my wife and I, we always like, here's a funny story. I did this. I took 40 days to plan it, right? We packed up all this ultralight camping equipment. I bought the lightest tent, sleeping bags. We put it in our bags. We flew to Vegas, rented an SUV, bought a cooler, and then we hit Zion, Moab, Arches, Capitol Reef, like national, all these national parks. Ended up in the Grand Canyon. Then went back to Vegas, and then we stayed at like the Venetian and got like pampered because I had like a beard. I look disgusting. I'm sleeping in tents for 8 days.
Nice.
And pimped it out. I thought I was a genius. Turns out it's called the Great Circle. Like
No
someone's
shit.
already mapped that out.
Really?
But I took the days to map it out and figure out where we're going to camp out. It was one of the best trips ever because
Yeah.
it was a road trip, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got the bug this last road trip, and it's like this every year. Like I take my vacation, I get like this year coming up. I think I get like 3 weeks vacation and like 10 days sick days. It's
Yep.
like I'm taking 2 weeks and going to drive my ass around, get a rental car. And that's the majority of the cost. That and I map it out every single day. I'm either in a different city or even a different state, and I book a hotel room. So I have everything mapped out. It's
Yep.
all right. So this is what we need to hit. We need to hit this, and this. And then, all right, well, if I have to call for a little late check-in, whatever, but we already have the room and it's flawless. Proper planning makes everything beautiful.
And then you leave a few things up for grabs and hopefully like my kid will appreciate it later. Like I know he appreciates it now. He even said so, but like later on, like your daughter you're taking on, it's going to be the best thing she's ever done. Even if she might not love it at the time, like she'd rather be at Disney or whatever she thinks.
No, she doesn't like Disney. Thank God.
But 10 years from now, she's really going to look back and be like, holy shit.
Yeah, like we did that, Dad.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we did. And you were super into it. And
Yep.
yeah, memories, dude. Create memories.
That's it.
Yeah, dude. What else is going on?
That's all I got. Let's wrap it up with the memories. That's nice.
Wrap it up with memories and sponsors. Go figure. I got to give sponsors my little, their due. You know what I mean? You might be familiar with a couple, two tree them.
Two tree.
Couple, two tree them. Now, official sponsors of the Mission Statements podcast. 3 of them are my friend over here. And 3 of them are this gentleman's establishments. We're going to go. I don't know them all I know obviously the names of them, but here we go. In no particular order, we have the Ashburn Pub located at, 44110 Ashburn Village, number 196 in Ashburn, Virginia.
Since 1995.
Since 1995. The Purcellville Pub, 745 East Main Street, also in Purcellville, VA. Purcellville Eats, the newest establishment, that's the place that I was at. And we did stop in the Purcellville Pub, but I will make it to the Ashburn Pub next time I'm in the area.
Ashburn Pub is like Cheers, bro. It's tiny and dark. You'd love it.
I love it. That's good shit. Purcellville Eats, 609 East Main Street, Suite U.
Yep.
Purcellville, VA. Also, what's your actual website? Do you have websites for your site?
Yeah, you got the ashburnpub.com, purcellvillepub.com, purcellvilleeats.com. You can find it anywhere.
Beautiful. And also, it's self-explanatory. Follow them on Instagram at Purcellville Eats, at the Purcellville Pub, at Ashburn Pub.
Yep.
Dead Sled Coffee. Follow them on Instagram as well, at Dead Sled Coffee. If you go to deadsledcoffee.com and you type in the promo code Delta Bravo, you will get 20% off of your order. They're Dead Sled Coffee rules. We're in the works, and we're going to try to hopefully maybe get an Outsider's House special blend.
That'd be dope.
Which would be kind of cool. A little something to have at the museum, a little online stuff, whatever. And last but definitely not least, Main Street Jukebox. They are located in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Tom, shout out to Tom, great dude. Their Facebook page was recently, deleted or taken down for whatever reason. So follow them. So go on to Facebook and type in Main Street Jukebox and give them a follow. Because they had like over 10,000 followers or something like that. And they kind of had to start over. And also follow them on Instagram at Main Street Jukebox. It's MAINST Jukebox.
Dude, and, Tom is awesome. I remember in COVID, he was doing a thing. I sent him like $50 and he was going to do like curate a box set for me. He's like, what music do you listen to? I gave him 3 favorite bands. He sent me like 5 albums.
Dude, that's
which
awesome.
Were perfect.
Yeah.
T-shirts. Like he's the best.
Yeah. Great dude. So I appreciate everybody who listens, the sponsors, obviously everything. And the only thing I ask is just go to Delta Bravo Mission Statements on Instagram. The link, just follow that. The link for every single platform and everything Delta Bravo related is in the link in the bio on Instagram at Delta Bravo Mission Statements. And follow the actual page too. I run both of them, and it's Delta Bravo Urbex Team on Instagram as well.
Boom.
Boom. And that's that. But we're definitely going to, like I said earlier, in a couple of weeks, Danny's swamped right now. I guess he's busy in gyrocopters and diving bull sharks, but more power to him. When he gets a free moment, we're going to all have a Zoom meeting and we're all going to shoot the shit about the things that we will eventually do in the future. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but regardless, there's no rush. It's got to be done right. It will happen eventually. That I
love it.
Me too.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Dude, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for hooking me up when I visited you on the ass end of my road trip with my hat right here at the pub, my dope ass Delta Bravo fucking train. That's
one of a kind.
One of a kind, which is on my wall in my living room above my gigantic, insane shadow box because I'm a fucking weirdo.
And a lobster grilled cheese.
And a lobster grilled cheese, my man, and a couple of 2-3 tater tots.
I appreciate it, man. We could talk for hours. I hope we do it again. But like I said, the only thing I thought of going into this is like, you have to keep going. I don't care if you have 2 subscribers today. Like you have.
I don't care about listeners either, dude. I enjoy it for regardless.
Yeah, it's the labor of love. Like everything we talked about tonight, from UFOs to fucking diner food, right? It's that labor of love. And there's a lot of people like us. And I just think it's awesome how you just keep, you're carrying the torch because Danny's doing other things, right? People are doing other things. Like you got to keep carrying the torch. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. And everybody who's listening, if you haven't yet, go outside and hit a spot.
Go explore.
Get outside of your house. It doesn't cost anything.
That's right.
Everyone has a phone. Take pictures. Send them to me if you want me to mash them. If you don't know how to mash, I'll help you.
Because you got to get the logo right.
You got to get the logo right. And you have to get the angle right. I can't make fucking, I can't perform miracles, but you got to be somewhat accurate.
I love it.
Take 50 pictures. I'll pick the best one. Kevin, be good, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
I love it. Take care, brother.
You too, man. Later.